Are your hands and feet cold, even when the room is warm? Do you stand up and suddenly feel that dizzy, lightheaded rush, forcing you to grab onto something? Do you feel that persistent tingling, that pins and needles sensation in your fingers or toes, even when you haven't been sitting strangely? Many seniors, perhaps even you, feel this every single day. That creeping numbness when you wake up. The heavy fatigue that settles deep in your legs after just a short walk. A feeling that your body just can't keep up. We are often told this is just getting older. We are told it's an unavoidable, normal part of reaching 70 or 80. But what if that isn't the whole truth? What if this poor circulation, this feeling of being run down and slow, isn't just an inevitable failure of the body? What if it's a specific signal? A signal that something deep inside our blood vessels is crying out for help, and that we've been ignoring it simply because we thought we had no other choice. What if you could actually reverse it, even now? So, you try to manage it. We all do. You pull on those tight compression socks every morning, hoping to force the blood back up, even though they feel restrictive and difficult to put on. You rub your feet and calves at night, trying to bring some life, some warmth back into them, just to get comfortable enough to fall asleep. Maybe you've tried soaking in a hot bath, hoping the warmth will open things up for a little while. And it does. But an hour later, that familiar chill returns. You elevate your legs against the wall, just like you were told, watching the clock and waiting for the tingling to subside. Perhaps your doctor even gave you a pill, one more medication to add to the list. You take it dutifully, but you still feel the same. You still get dizzy when you stand up. Your fingers still get numb when you're holding a book. These are all efforts. These are all signs that you are trying. But deep down, you know these are just patches. They are temporary fixes for a problem that feels permanent. It feels like you are constantly bailing water out of a leaky boat, but you haven't been shown how to plug the leak. You are treating the symptoms, but not the root cause, because we have accepted a fundamental misunderstanding. We believe the boat is simply old and meant to leak. We think the problem is that our heart isn't strong enough to push the blood. But the real problem isn't just the pump. It's the pipes. It's the vast, incredible network of over 60,000 miles of blood vessels inside you. And they are becoming stiff, narrow, and unresponsive. And the reason why is not what you think. For decades, we've accepted this story. The body wears out. The joints ache, the eyes dim, and the circulation slows. We've been told that our blood vessels, just like the plumbing in an old house, inevitably get clogged and brittle. We are told that hardening of the arteries is a one-way street. But this is a dangerous half-truth. It's the kind of story that makes us give up. It makes us passive. It makes us accept the tingling fingers, the dizzy spells, and the cold feet as our non-negotiable reality. Let's challenge that story. Right now. The problem isn't age as a number. The real problem is a process. Age is a factor, yes, but the true culprit is a chronic, low-grade inflammation and a relentless attack from something called oxidative stress. Imagine your blood vessels. They are not just static pipes. They are living, active, muscular tissues. A healthy blood vessel is supposed to be soft and flexible, like a new garden hose. When your body needs more blood, say to your brain when you stand up or to your legs when you walk, a signal is sent and the muscle in that vessel wall relaxes. The hose widens and blood flow increases instantly. This is a perfect, beautiful system. Now, what is happening in poor circulation? That system is failing. The inflammation and oxidative stress are like a constant attack on the delicate inner lining of that hose, called the endothelium. This lining is damaged year after year. It becomes stiff, scarred, and sticky. It's as if that flexible garden hose was left out in the blazing sun and freezing cold for 20 years. It becomes brittle, cracked, and hard. When your brain signals for more blood, that stiff, hard vessel can't relax. It can't widen, so when you stand up, the blood doesn't rush to your head. You get dizzy. When you walk, your leg muscles scream for more oxygen, but the stiff vessels can't deliver it. You feel that heavy, painful fatigue. Your hands and feet are cold because the tiny, delicate vessels at your extremities are clamped shut, unable to open up and let the warm blood in. This isn't just getting old. This is a specific, physical breakdown of a system. And it all comes down to the loss of one single molecule, one single magical gas that our body is supposed to create on its own. This molecule is the master signal. It is the only thing that tells the muscle in your blood vessel walls to relax and open up. When we are young, we produce it in abundance. But as the decades of inflammation and oxidative stress wear down that delicate inner lining, our ability to produce this one molecule plummets. By age 70, many people have lost over 75% of their ability to produce it. So, you see, you are not failing. Your body is not simply old. Your body is starving for the one signal it needs to do its job. The problem isn't a lack of effort, it's a lack of this specific chemical messenger. This molecule, this master signal, is called nitric oxide. You may have heard of it, but it's often misunderstood. It's not laughing gas, nitrous oxide. It is a simple, fundamental molecule, one part nitrogen, one part oxygen, that our own bodies are designed to produce. Its discovery as a vital signaling molecule in the body was so profound, it won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1998. Why? Because it controls the one thing that gives us life: blood flow. Let's go back to our analogy of the garden hose, or the pipes in your house. Your blood vessels are not just tubes. The very inner lining, that delicate layer we talked about called the endothelium, is not just wallpaper. It is a vast, intelligent, living organ. It is a chemical factory, one cell thick, that stretches over 60,000 miles if laid out. And the most important product this factory makes is nitric oxide. Here is how it works, second by second, inside your body. Imagine you decide to stand up from your chair. Your heart instantly begins to pump a little harder to push blood uphill to your brain. The endothelium, this smart lining, senses the increased pressure and speed of the blood rushing past it. In response, in less than a second, the cells of this lining release tiny, microscopic puffs of nitric oxide. This gas only travels a microscopic distance. It penetrates into the muscle layer that surrounds the blood vessel, the wall of the hose. And when nitric oxide hits that muscle cell, it delivers one simple, powerful command: relax. The muscle, which was tense, immediately loosens, and the blood vessel itself widens. This widening is called vasodilation. Vaso means vessel, and dilation means to open. Because the vessel is now wider, more blood can flow through it with less pressure. Your brain gets a rich, immediate supply of oxygen. You stand up and you feel perfectly clear, perfectly balanced. No dizziness, no lightheaded rush. It's a perfect, instantaneous, responsive system. Now let's look at what happens in a body with poor circulation. For decades, that inner lining, that smart factory, has been under attack. A diet high in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats creates inflammation. Normal life and stress create rogue molecules called oxidative stress, or free radicals. Think of this as a constant sandstorm and a small fire attacking the factory, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 50 years. What happens to that delicate, one-cell thick factory? it gets damaged. It gets scarred. The machinery inside the cells that makes the nitric oxide breaks down. This is what doctors call endothelial dysfunction. It's a simple way of saying the factory is broken. So now, let's replay the scene. You are 75 years old. The factory is only working at 25% capacity. You stand up from your chair. Your heart pumps harder. The blood rushes past the damaged, stiff lining. The lining tries to respond, but it can't. It is broken. It releases almost no nitric oxide. The relax signal is never sent. The muscle wall of the artery stays tight. The vessel stays narrow. Your heart is pushing harder, but the blood is being forced through a tiny straw. Not enough blood gets to your brain in time, and you feel that terrifying whoosh of dizziness. You have to grab the table. Do you see? The problem was not your age. The problem was your nitric oxide production. Let's apply it to your cold hands and feet. The tiny, tiny blood vessels, the capillaries, in your extremities are the most sensitive to this relax signal. They need a constant, gentle flow of nitric oxide to stay open and flexible. Without it, they default to a constricted state. They clamp shut. Warm blood simply cannot reach the surface of your skin. Your fingers and toes feel like ice. The nerves, starved of oxygen, start to misfire, giving you that tingling pins and needles feeling. It's not a mystery. It's a lack of nitric oxide. Let's apply it to that heavy, painful fatigue in your legs when you walk. You start walking. Your big thigh and calf muscles are working hard. They are burning through oxygen and nutrients. They are screaming for more. In a healthy body, the endothelium in your leg arteries would release a flood of nitric oxide. The arteries would open wide, dumping tons of fresh, oxygenated blood into the muscles. You would feel powerful, energetic. But your factory is broken. No nitric oxide is released. The arteries stay narrow. Your muscles are literally suffocating. They are starving for oxygen, and what you feel is profound weakness, cramping, and a deep, heavy ache that forces you to stop and rest. You are not weak. Your delivery system is failing. This is the root cause. This is the mechanism behind poor circulation. And this understanding, this single aha moment, is the key to reversing it. Because if the problem is a lack of this one single molecule, the solution is to help our body make it again. So, the logical question is, how do we fix it? If the factory is broken and has been under attack for 50 years, how can we possibly start to repair a 60,000-mile-long organ? It feels like an impossible task. But here is the most hopeful part of all. Your body wants to heal. That inner lining, the endothelium, is in a constant state of trying to repair itself. It just doesn't have the right tools or protection to win the battle. The solution is not a powerful drug that forces the system. The solution is to support the system. We have to do two things. First, we must protect that delicate factory lining from the constant sandstorm of oxidative stress and inflammation. Second, we must provide the specific signals and building blocks that help the factory's broken machinery start producing nitric oxide again. And this is where nature has provided an almost perfect answer. An answer that has been hiding in plain sight, revered for centuries, but only now truly understood by science. We are talking about the fruit in the title. We are talking about the pomegranate. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not a miracle cure. This is not folklore. This is a targeted biological tool. The pomegranate is perhaps the most studied fruit on earth when it comes to cardiovascular health. And the reason it's so powerful is that its unique compounds do exactly those two things we just talked about. It is one of the most potent natural protectors of the endothelium ever discovered. And it is one of the most effective natural boosters of the body's own nitric oxide production. It doesn't just bypass the system, it helps the system heal itself. Think of it this way. The pomegranate's compounds are like sending in a specialized elite team to your broken factory. Part of the team is a security force that immediately stops the sandstorm and puts out the fires. The other part of the team is a group of engineers that starts repairing the delicate machinery that makes the nitric oxide. It's not magic. It's just very, very good biology. It's giving your body the precise tool it has been starving for. And this is how it begins to reverse the problem. Let's get specific. What exactly is inside a pomegranate that allows it to do this? It's not just vitamins. It's a unique family of powerful compounds called polyphenols. And in the pomegranate, the two most important ones, the elite team leaders, are called punicalagins and ellagic acid. You don't need to memorize the names, you just need to understand their two-part mission. Part 1, the security force first, the punicalagins. These are found in the bright red juicy seeds and especially in the white pithy membrane and the outer rind. These are among the most powerful antioxidants on the planet. Let's go back to our factory analogy. I said the factory was under constant attack from a sandstorm of inflammation and sparks of oxidative stress. A free radical is an unstable molecule that bounces around your bloodstream like a tiny hot piece of shrapnel. Its only goal is to crash into a healthy cell, like a cell in your delicate endothelial lining, and damage it. This damage is oxidative stress. When you eat or drink pomegranate, these punicalagins enter your bloodstream. They are, essentially, a massive, highly trained security force. Their job is to intercept these sparks and shrapnel. They are molecular shields. They find these free radicals and neutralize them before they can ever hit your factory wall. Studies have shown that pomegranate juice has an antioxidant capacity 3 times higher than red wine or green tea. Why is this so vital? Because for the first time in perhaps decades, your 60,000-mile-long endothelium gets a break. The sandstorm dies down. The sparks stop flying. The chronic, low-grade fire of inflammation begins to cool. But this security force does something else, something incredibly important. It also stops LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, from oxidizing. We often think cholesterol itself is the enemy that clogs our arteries. But that's not the whole story. LDL cholesterol is far more dangerous after it has been hit by a free radical, after it has been oxidized. Oxidized LDL is what becomes truly sticky. It's what burrows into the artery wall, starting the formation of plaque, which narrows the vessel even more. The punicalagins in pomegranates act like bodyguards for the LDL, preventing it from turning sticky and toxic. So, not only are you stopping the damage, you are actively preventing the buildup of plaque. You are helping to keep the pipes clean. Part 2. The engineers. So, the attack has stopped. The factory is now safe. Now it's time to send in the engineers to fix the broken machinery. This is the most exciting part. The machinery inside your endothelial cells that actually makes nitric oxide is a special enzyme. Its name is endothelial nitric oxide synthase, or ENOS for short. This enzyme, this machine, is what gets broken down by inflammation and oxidative stress. The compounds in pomegranate, specifically the metabolites that are created when your gut digests the punicalagins, have been shown in multiple clinical studies to directly help this machine. They do it in 2 ways. First, as we mentioned, nitric oxide is an incredibly fragile and short-lived molecule. Often, it's destroyed by a free radical the instant the ENOS machine makes it. Because the pomegranate's security force is already there, clearing out all the free radicals, the nitric oxide that is produced suddenly has a longer life. It gets to do its job. It gets to reach the muscle wall and deliver the relax signal. So, you immediately make your existing no production far more efficient. Second, and this is the true breakthrough, the pomegranate compounds directly stimulate and activate the ENOS machine itself. It's like the engineers are arriving with a special oil and a new set of instructions. They clean the rust off the ENOS enzyme. They upregulate it. That's the scientific term. It means they flip the on switch, telling the factory to start making more nitric oxide again. They are literally repairing the broken machinery. So, let's put this all together in a timeline. What happens when you start incorporating this fruit into your life? Within hours of your first glass of juice, the security force of punicolagens is in your bloodstream, and the level of antioxidant protection in your body measurably increases. The assault on your endothelium begins to quiet down. Within days, as you continue this, the chronic inflammation levels start to drop. Within a few weeks, the engineers have had time to work. The ENOS machinery is cleaner, more active, and more efficient. Your body's own ability to produce nitric oxide is measurably increasing. And what do you feel? You stand up from your chair, and that dizzy, lightheaded rush, it's gone. Because when your brain signaled for more blood, your newly repaired endothelium responded. It released nitric oxide. Your arteries relaxed and widened. Your brain got the oxygen it needed, instantly. You get into bed at night and pull the covers up, and you realize your feet aren't blocks of ice. They're warm. Because the tiny capillaries, finally getting the relax signal, have opened up, allowing warm, rich blood to flow all the way to your toes, you decide to take that walk. And you find you can get to the mailbox and back without that deep, burning ache in your calves. Because your leg arteries are dilating again, feeding your muscles the oxygen they've been starving for. You are not just covering up a symptom. You are reversing the root cause. You are healing the dysfunction. You are taking a stiff, brittle pipe, and day by day, you are helping your body turn it back into a soft, flexible, responsive vessel. That is the power of giving your body the right tool. So, how do you start? What is the practical step you can take today? The good news is that this is simple. It does not require a drastic, difficult overhaul of your life. You are looking for consistency, not massive volume. The two easiest ways to get these benefits are through the juice or the fresh seeds. If you choose the juice, which is the most concentrated form, you only need a small amount, about 4 to 6 ounces a day. That's just half a glass. But there is one very important rule. You must look at the label. You are looking for 100% pomegranate juice. You are not looking for pomegranate cocktail or pomegranate-flavored drink. Those are almost always loaded with added sugars, like high fructose corn syrup, or mixed with cheaper juices like apple or grape. Remember, sugar is one of the primary drivers of the inflammation we are trying to stop. Adding it back in defeats the purpose. So, find the pure, unsweetened juice. It will be tart, but it is powerful. If you prefer the whole fruit, that is wonderful. The fresh seeds, or arils, are also fantastic. A good serving is about half a cup. You can eat them as a snack. You can sprinkle them on your morning oatmeal, add them to a salad for a bright burst of flavor, or mix them into yogurt. When you eat the seeds, you also get the added, crucial benefit of fiber, which helps feed the good bacteria in your gut, the very bacteria that help you metabolize those powerful polyphenols. That's it. A small glass of pure juice or a handful of fresh seeds. Daily. This is the most important part. Consistency is more important than quantity. This is not a quick fix. It is not a pill. It is an act of supporting a biological process. You are providing the security force and the engineers to your body day after day. It took 70 or 80 years for the sandstorm of inflammation to damage the factory. You cannot expect to repair 60,000 miles of blood vessels overnight. But you can expect to feel changes, and they can start sooner than you think. Here is the beautiful, hopeful truth. Your body never stops trying to heal itself. That is its default setting. The only reason it hasn't is because the damage has always been greater than the repair. This one simple daily act helps to tip that scale. For the first time, you are giving your repair systems a fighting chance. You are stopping the attack and providing the tools for the rebuild all at the same time. You are not too old. Your body is not done. You are not stuck with poor circulation. That is a story we have been told, and it is a story that serves no one. The human body has an astonishing, profound capacity for regeneration if we give it what it needs. This is not about becoming a perfect athlete. This is about being able to stand up without fear. This is about holding your grandchild's hand and feeling it with warm fingers. This is about having the energy to walk with the people you love. This one fruit is a powerful first step. It is a catalyst. It is proof that you can take back control of your health. You don't have to change everything. You just have to start with one thing. Start here. The journey to better health, especially in our golden years, is not about one giant leap. It is built one day at a time, with one small, loving, consistent step. What you've learned today isn't just information. It is a new possibility. It's the possibility of warmer hands, clearer thoughts, and more energetic days. It's the possibility of a life with more yes and less I can't. This is the power you hold. The power to give your body the tools it needs to heal. If this message has given you a sense of hope today, we invite you to share it. Share it with a friend, a spouse, or a family member who might also be thinking that their cold feet and dizzy spells are just something they have to live with. It might be the hope they've been waiting for. We are on this journey with you. If you want to continue to discover the simple, science-backed ways you can reclaim your health and vibrancy at any age, we hope you'll stay with us. Let's walk this path together, because you deserve to feel your best today and every day to come.